Hey guys, this is my fourth attempt trying to do this video. It's been sick, honestly. Fun times. So this is a 2020 review video. Just looking back at this year, working with Overwatch League, and just in general, I think I just want to go over a few things. It's more of a video to keep track of myself, like keep tabs on myself, making sure I'm doing these things coming into next year. Because I said I'd do one of these videos myself in 2019, and I said what I'd do the same thing in 2018, probably 2017 as well, but I just didn't do it. So yeah, I want to quickly go over like Overwatch League and just, I guess, life in general and how I've been doing this year with coronavirus, basically. So first year in Overwatch League, it's been a pretty ridiculous experience. Ridiculous in the good sense. It's been extraordinarily fun. Although we didn't have homestands because of the coronavirus, it has still been an experience I would not trade for the world. Especially it being such a relief and a lot of weight off my shoulders coming into 2020. As 2019, before I got offered the Overwatch League position, I was not sure if I was going to continue esports because I wasn't able to sustain myself, basically. And I was on the verge of just quitting altogether if certain other gigs didn't end up working out. Overwatch League, of course, did end up shooting me an offer, and I accepted, and I did the 2020 season. So it all worked out in the end, but I was very close to not casting this year and just trying to find something else to do, which would have probably been teaching English in Korea. That was my other kind of goal in life that I wanted to achieve, so that was going to be my next step if I wasn't casting this year. My introduction to the league was pretty easy and pretty simple, I think. A little bit nerve-wracking, I will say, obviously, especially jumping up to the big leagues and going straight into homestands as well. It's pretty nerve-wracking. I was pretty nervous, especially on the first flight to New York. I was like, damn, this is actually happening, huh? And like half the time I feel like I'm in a dream, like my brain is like in the Fortnite blue fog. Like it's sometimes hard for me to realize where I am on what I'm doing. But as soon as I kind of get past that, it's almost like a small bit of euphoria. Like, oh wow, I'm actually doing this. And that normally happens when I put on the headset and I look around and I look down at the screens. I'm like, oh damn, I'm here. Okay, time to go, which aids to kind of the excitement of actually casting. Casting with Hex this year, of course. It's been one of the easiest experiences ever, casting with a new person. Hex is the best when it comes to casting with someone brand new. Like, he's actually been the easiest person I've ever had to cast with, and just transitioning so smoothly. Of course, it was a little bit rough on our first day of the homestands, but we fit into a groove so fast. It was insane. Not only Hex is a fantastic caster, but he also does an incredible job of just making you feel at home, basically. And it feels like I've always been there. That was the weird thing. It felt like I was like, damn, it felt like I've been doing this for a long time, casting with Hex, but obviously it'd only been like a couple of days, but it felt like a year plus, So yeah, I've thanked him publicly and privately and everything, but thank you, Hex, for making my transition into Overwatch League very easy. Alongside that, Mitch too helped me get up to speed, get up to scratch with Overwatch League and casting in general as well. I definitely have a lot to work on as a caster and as an individual as well. I would say I wouldn't say I'm full strength. There's a lot of things I need to practice on. I need to work on to be the best caster I can be. I don't think I'm anywhere near there yet. That's going to take a couple more years, I think, of refining and making sure I can do the best I can do. And having someone as experienced as Mitch there has been extremely helpful, not only just in terms of just kind of life and stuff in general. Like, he's definitely helped with motivation, but casting as a whole and just giving me a kick up the arse, which is sometimes very important, I think, for everybody. But I made sure that he knew that if I was slacking, like, just give me a kick up the ass and I'm going to, jump right to it. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing what needs to be done. So yeah, this year has been incredible. It's been difficult. That's for sure. Like coronavirus, especially, has just messed so many things up, and transitioning to an online setting, especially with a new casting partner, it was like overcoming that hurdle of casting together for the first time almost again, because we're going to online, and I'm not with a next to Hex, and he can't see my body language, and he can't see when I'm finishing talking, and I can't. We didn't get that feeling instantly, and again, it took kind of a week or two to get in the groove of things. But when it did get in the groove, hey, it was super simple. And Hex is extremely easy to talk to when it comes to broadcast, and like, oh, I think we need to do this. You're doing this. I think you need to stop doing that or do less of that, and I need to do more of this, and I'll give you more room, and all this kind of stuff. It's like very easy to have a back and forth, and the communication is there, and it has been since day one. So it did make the transition to online easier. So it was like two speed bumps that I had to go over before I felt at home. It sucks we didn't have homestands. My God, we were supposed to do Miami the week after the Washington, or 2 weeks after Washington. I can't remember. But we did the two homestands, New York and Washington. They were both incredible. And I really hope at some point we're going to get back to that, and the world is going to get better and back to the way it was, or close to the way it was. Just as a small aside, I think the world is going to change for the better, probably, after coronavirus eventually disappears. But I think it's going to be a very interesting time, and an exciting time too, when we can finally have homestands back, or we can finally be in a big studio, or just whatever, just casting with your co-caster right next to you again. Once we have that again, it's going to be phenomenal, honestly. And that counts for any game too, by the way, not just like Overwatch, just esports in general. I know a few places have been doing it already. Places like LEC, I think Flashpoint have been doing it too, I believe, like in a studio setting, which has been really, really awesome to see that progression from forced online broadcast to like a select few people making sure they're tested or whatever, or like in a bubble, or such and such, just getting them in a studio environment. It's been interesting to see the evolution from company to company, from developer or whatever, Riot and Flashpoint and whoever else. Along the same kind of lines of COVID, I think motivation in general, I think with everybody, has been at an all-time low almost. And I can definitely speak for myself when I say that, because it's been a tough year to want to improve. Now, I say want to improve, but like I always want to improve. I want to be the best caster I possibly can be, and I'm definitely on the road to being that. But just the motivation to really sit down and study VODs and study my own casting and stuff it did knock me for six just a little bit, because being stuck inside for so long just actually sucks. Like the first couple of months, you're like, oh, this is fine. It felt bad, but it didn't feel that terrible. But now we're in November, and it's so long that I almost can't remember it being any other way, which is pretty bad. Like I said, I hope we do eventually get to a place where we can go outside again. Woo! And I've been making a conscious effort of trying to do things in my daily life and exploring LA, or like I went to San Diego the other day, just obviously practicing social distancing and being as safe as I possibly could be, but still trying to experience things. Like I've been going to the different aquariums, which has been really cool. And they've had like limited capacity, but you're allowed to go in, and you have to follow a set trail around the aquarium, but you get to see everything, and there's very limited people in there. But doing those things has definitely helped my motivation to stream and create content, or like do whatever, literally anything. It just helps in daily life, I think. Along the same kind of lines as motivation, it's something that else has kind of been knocked for six, especially for me, has been the goals that I wanted to achieve this year. I definitely ticked a few off, that's for sure. I look at my notebook that I've had since like my early days of casting, 2017 and 2016, 2017. And I've ticked off a few of my long-term goals on there, which is really cool. However, a few of them have been a bit lackluster. My studying Korean has been a bit tough for me. I find languages pretty difficult to learn, but on top of that, it's just the motivation aspect of like sitting down and actually studying, I find pretty tough currently. It's just something I have to kick myself up the arse and actually get doing. Same with reading more, which is something that I wanted to do this year. I'm definitely reading more than I've ever done. However, it's still not enough. And going to the gym as well. I've been doing that, or at least started to do that at the beginning of the year, and I've kind of petered off just a little bit. Like, I'm definitely not going as much as I used to. Again, that kind of motivation hitting you has been quite tough. Yeah, it's been a rough one, that is for sure. But I'm excited for 2021. Hopefully everything gets better eventually, and we can go back to studio broadcasts, or we can go back to homestands, or just something that will just up the motivation and just help everybody get out of the rut I think people are in currently. I'm a little bit pessimistic, not as pessimistic as others I will say, but I'm normally pessimistic about these kind of things. But I have a lot of hope that next year will be a whole lot easier on everybody. And when everybody's back to work, maybe not in the, full time in the office or whatever, or like for us in a studio, maybe not that, but when everybody's getting back to it, I think it's going to be way better for everybody, and everybody's going to be a lot happier too, which is nice. Not saying I've been unhappy this year. Of course I have been in parts of it. Not being able to go home, for example, to see my family has been a little bit tough, I will say, but it's all going to get better, which is the important thing. I just wanted to, like I said before at the start of the video, I just wanted to make this video for myself really, and making sure I kick myself up the ass and like document where I am currently, and then compare that to where I am next year, and then compare and contrast and see if I'm still doing the things that I want to do, or pushing for new things, or doing new things. I could be doing something completely different next year. I don't know yet. It's just around the corner, but it's still uncertain, an uncertain time right now. Obviously, I'm a freelance caster at this point. I'm not employed by Overwatch League. So it's a little bit uncertain, but I'm pretty confident that it will be all good in the end. But that's going to be the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you all the love and support you give me this year. People who watch the Overwatch League, or just anybody in life in general who is watching this video. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll see you very soon.